Hello everyone, this is Shwa and you are watching Light Up with Shwa. My guest today is Jenny Bonham-Carter. I am so happy, Jenny, that you're here. So let's begin. So Jenny, could you tell me who you are, your full name, and what do you do?
My name is Jenny Bonham-Carter. I come from Sweden. I moved here to the US, to Somerville here in Boston, about 2 years ago. We're here because of my husband's job in biotechnology. He's English.
Okay. And what are you?
And I'm a social worker. I'm Swedish.
No,
I'm
Swedish.
Swedish.
To say Swedish. Like, are you English? You have an accent. So
That's
I want to
right.
make sure that our guests know that we have a Swedish person here. And
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. A bit of a mixed accent, Swedish and English, and American, of course, because
she's in America.
Yeah.
Wow, what a combination. Huh?
That's right. And so we live here. I've got 3 kids. They're coming up to 11, 9, and 4. So far here in America, I've been staying at home a lot with them, looking after them, and making sure they're getting into the life here with schools, activities, and so on. But my profession is social work. I've been working in lots of children and families assessment work for social services. I've also been working in mental health in schools, and I've been working in development aid in West Africa for some time.
Okay.
And then when my kids were little, I did my master's degree in human rights.
Okay.
And that led me into interfaith work, which I've been very involved with the last 6 years.
So what are you doing now? Are you in any of these areas actively working, or are you looking for a job, or are you already on a job here?
Yes, I'm trying to spread my web across Boston to see what there is.
Okay.
And that has led me to CMM, the Interfaith organization.
CMM stands for?
Cooperative Metropolitan Ministries.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's the oldest interfaith organization, 50 plus this year, in Boston. So that's just an add-on to that.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I got involved with CMM about a year ago, and thanks to that, I became your friend.
Yeah, that's the good part out of it.
That's the good part. And so I'm in the board, and I'm very involved with the social programs there. And then apart from that, I'm in the PTA of my kids' school. And I'm
so are you
involved
going
there.
to actively work in interfaith then? Are you going to, through CMM? Is that what the plan is for now?
So I'm still looking. My dream is to be able to work in interfaith work, and which I am already, but I would like to do it even more.
And why do you want to do that?
Well, I could not think of anything more relevant in these times of polarization.
Okay.
I find anything that brings people together feels highly relevant to me. And I love to think on different level. The micro level, where you and I here of supposedly different backgrounds but incredibly similar are talking,
very
becoming
similar,
friends. Yes, there you go. But up to the micro level, which has to do with international relations and so on. So I am interested in being a part of change on these different levels.
Excellent, excellent. So did you decide when you reached here that you're not going to actively look for work because they don't pay you equally? Or is there any reason like that? I'm just taking a sideline from a person who's coming up from abroad. How is it there in terms of women's equality laws or rules? I want to touch upon that before we get into your parenting styles and skills.
Well, I'm very glad you bring that up because it's highly relevant. So Sweden is very different from the US.
Okay.
We have a social system which, in my view, is much fairer, but I'm not going to get too political. But
much fairer.
Much fairer.
Okay. Okay.
So we pay high taxes and we have high, but you get a lot out of it. So healthcare is free, for example.
Okay. Healthcare is free.
Yeah.
What about education?
And education is free.
Till?
So university is free as well.
Okay, I'm moving there.
Yeah. So
well,
there
I'm
you
done
go.
Actually.
There you go. But then we pay 45% income tax, right?
Okay. Yeah.
And then the healthcare is not as good as when you pay your top health insurance here in the US.
Yes.
But you're not going to be homeless if you get cancer and you didn't happen to have enough coverage.
So these are the kind of
So this is
what about equal pay?
And equal pay, we still have a long way to go.
Oh, so there is
so
also
there
discrepancy?
So women's issue is high on the agenda in Sweden, but in comparison, I would say has come a lot longer way. But still, in terms of representation on the CEO level of many companies, I think there is still somewhere to go. But it's on the agenda, and when it comes to families, life is structured so that families mostly need 2 salaries. So therefore, childcare is taken care of in a different way. That has its problems too. So I'm not just painting a rosy picture, but.
So I also want to acknowledge and admit that I love being in America. That's why she's here, because I'm sure there's something going right for you that you are here with the work and all. It's a beautiful country, and we will continue to do our job, our work to improve. So it doesn't matter where we are, we should own it and do what we need to do. So coming to the parenting, so this program is about conscious living, conscious parenting, and a lot connected to it. So with Jenny, I want to talk about a little bit of your parenting skills and style, and also about a little bit of interfaith, because you said that's your passion and you are involved in it. So let's start with parenting. So what kind of parent are you?
I am a quite fun parent, I think.
Okay.
My kids are fun. I didn't realize that they would have so much humor at such an early age. But so I'm not an expert at routines. I really am not good at making them go to bed in time and so on.
Who does that? Your husband does that, or
No, we are both quite rubbish, unfortunately.
Rubbish. This is a different word.
So that is, we're lacking here and there, absolutely. And
so why do you think it's a lack if you are unable to discipline them for bedtime only?
I guess it's like they're tired in the morning. That's more like that. On the other hand, it's been great because that means we can have a very flexible life. We can take them to parties and be very flexible, and
but
they don't
do
have
go to school on time.
They do go, yeah.
And you wake up.
More, but we do wake up in the mornings. They have to run quite often, but we are. So I'm very relaxed, but I am strict when it comes to certain things.
So how do you think that, what have you learned from your parenting, or did you learn from your parents, that how do you run your children's life? Are you authoritative? Well, this shows you're not from the schedule point of view, but how do you spend time with them then? Like, how do you discipline them and enjoy with them?
So
give me a synopsis of it in a brief, please.
A very short one. Well, there are lots of things I love doing with them. If it's not cooking, cleaning, clearing up, whatever, and I am actually having some kids' time, I love reading with them.
Okay.
I love painting, drawing, everything that has to do with art.
What does that do? Does it help in some way? Why do you do that?
Well, I think it's great for them. I love it. And they notice when an adult loves something for real. I mean, that's when they
get excited.
They get excited. So I'm a part-time musician, so I try to play and sing with them.
So
sometimes
we need
they
to know
do
about
this,
that
but there we
part.
go.
So you're a musician also.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah.
What do you play or what do you sing?
So I sing. I'm classically trained as a child, but after becoming a teenager, I still love listening to classical music, but I've been more into gospel, pop, soul, blues.
Western classical.
Western classical.
Not
Thank you
Indian
for clarifying.
I'm just saying because I have my background from Asian
Yes, that's right.
region. So I just want to
Western
make sure
classical.
that it's not Indian, Pakistani, any other classical, but the Western classical.
Yeah, I'd love to get into the Pakistani classical,
yeah,
obviously.
that's our next program.
That's right. That's our next program. And I play guitar, play piano and guitar, and I'm learning the ukulele and so on.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So do you, like your children are learning these skills or?
Yes, I've been there as well. I want to encourage them, but I don't want to push them really.
Why not? Why not? Push your children.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But,
I mean,
so are they inclined towards music? Let's put it this way.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
They are. Now, particularly my son, who has been uninterested this last year, he has continued to surprise us by starting in the junior chorus, by starting to learn the ukulele and the violin, while as my daughter, and to sing also in the Swedish school. I'm a music teacher in the Swedish school.
Oh, okay.
And he has been interested to singing there. My daughter, I already knew she liked it because she's already been to singing and piano and so on, but and dancing, etc. But with my son, I guess that might potentially prove a little bit the strategy being a good one, not to like force him to do it.
Okay.
But he has come around to wanting to do it himself now.
So could you give us any things or skills or techniques or during your parenting time that you did that you really think that this should be inculcated? I mean, I know you don't want to tell others what to do, but can we learn anything from you that you really liked while when you started to have family and you did and you really enjoyed doing that with the children, or the other parents can maybe learn from you? And some things that you think parents shouldn't do, something that you think that they should and shouldn't.
I think about making choices and being relaxed, I think that is important. That's something I've done to a certain point. So no is a no. When no is a no, it is a no.
Okay.
And I want to be relaxed, and I think I'm relaxed, but I'm not their best friend. So you do not hit somebody. That's how it is.
Yeah.
You don't throw food on the floor. No.
Okay.
And sometimes I give them choices, but some things as an adult you can't choose as well, right?
Right.
So they need to know that. But then to have fun with them, that's what I would say. And not like do stuff because you think you have to. I even started to say to my 3-year-old, oh no, do you have to choose that book for me to read? It's boring. And when I say that,
and
she goes,
how does she react?
Mom was showing some genuine feeling. Yeah, and she's like, and then she will of course tease me and go, yes, I want to hear it. But then,
so she has something a little of you.
There you go, yeah. But what it teaches me and maybe could inspire somebody else is, like, be authentic.
Okay.
Don't go, great job, if it wasn't actually. A little bit like, that was really good. This is great.
So you express what you feel so they can do that same thing. So do you then listen? Are you a good listener to your children?
Hope I am. Okay. I hope I am. I mean, I want...
So like you have a dialogue between your children, like when you're choosing a book, or as you were mentioning?
Yeah,
so you can have a conversation and...
Yeah, we did. The other week I was lobbying hard for this book in Swedish I read as a child that my parents read to me. And I go, and they go, no, it's boring. We've tried to read another one of those ones. I'm like, come on, let's give this book a chance now.
Okay.
And it's so because I want to read it.
Okay, so you were convincing them.
I convinced them, and I said, okay, give it 2 chapters. And they're like, okay. And actually, now they want to hear. And they also, and that's about being genuine, I guess, they notice the way this book is written and so on, and it's in Swedish. I also want to like encourage them.
So you want to encourage their language skills?
That's right. That's right. It's cleverly written, and I laugh for real, and they also laugh for real. Yeah.
Good.
Fun.
Good. Thank you. So this was very insightful. So you want the parents to be authentic, right? To be genuine with the children. What else do we learn from this? Be honest, not try to fake it unnecessarily that, oh, you did a good job and all. I mean, sometimes you might have to do that to encourage them, right?
Sure. No.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I wouldn't go, that's a bad picture that you draw. No. But
I mean, you can be political about it.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay,
no,
yeah,
sure.
you could have, let's try this or the other. Or,
there you go.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Be encouraging, but also we are who we are, right?
So your children are younger, so it's a good take, because I have all kinds of interviewees and they have different ranges of ages. So I'm trying to glean out of you that at this age, and can you repeat, like 3 years old and 8?
They're coming up to 11, 9, and
11,
Flora's
9,
going to be 4 this year.
Okay, so these are young children.
Yeah.
So you must be busy with them, like.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Exhausted is the right word, right?
Exhausted, but happy. Yeah.
So now tell us about some things that you would avoid, or parents should avoid doing.
Should avoid doing
with their children, in your experience.
I'm a social worker, so I've seen, apart from the obvious things.
What are obvious things?
Obvious is all kinds of abuse.
Which is, for example?
Which is obviously physical and sexual, but also emotional. Emotional abuse.
Verbal, right? What about
verbal?
Yeah.
Verbal abuse.
Yeah. That's
very,
the most common,
very damaging.
Yeah, that can be most common between parents.
Also, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Putting each other down at all times, devaluing, putting them on this embarrassing kids. That's
so what about those parents? I mean, let's give benefit of the doubt that maybe you're not intentionally doing it, but because you are brought up that way, you don't realize that you're doing it. So that's where the consciousness comes, right?
Sure, no.
Somebody has to point it out, or
nobody goes free. I mean, we have to be our own. We have to help each other, and that's really tricky.
Yeah, it's very hard
to say to a friend, for example. Actually,
it happened.
What you did there, you shouldn't have done. That's a tricky one. Yeah. But between spouses, if it's possible, then sometimes me and my husband would like go. There, actually, you're a bit too angry, because I've got lots of tolerance to a certain point. I go, come on, put your clothes on. Come on, put your cover on. Until I go sound like Darth Vader, and I go, put your overall on.
Okay.
And while as my husband is more like, come on, this is your final warning, good, and it would be.
Some people don't like the word tolerance. Do you have any other word for that? So you tolerate
patience?
That.
No,
patience,
exactly. No, I don't. Exactly. That's
for the parent.
Right.
It should be more patience. Right?
Patience. Yeah.
Instead of tolerating. If you're tolerating your children, that means.
No, exactly. That's that word is complicated in many different areas.
Yeah. So I want to make sure that we address that.
No, patience.
Patience would be more.
So I feel like many people who haven't seen my moments of getting really angry with the kids think I'm a miracle of tolerance.
So now when you mentioned you mentioned anger, so that's another thing that we have to work on while dealing with children and everybody, with others, right?
Absolutely, and I think then
that's the aspect of our habit that we should avoid as well.
Sure,
right?
Sure. No,
I mean, you do get angry. It's not like it's human to get angry.
Yeah.
But how do you deal with it when you are in a relation with, especially with younger kids, because they don't understand if they are really irritating you or really making you or.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
No, it's a bit moderation. I mean, I think it's absolutely, it's important to be your own judge in these situations, and at the same time, well, at some point you're going to go, that's enough.
So in this aspect, I would like to ask this last question, and before I move to my last leg of questions. As a social worker, and you have human rights degree, and your experience in interfaith, how can you self-evaluate yourself if you are, doing something? How can we learn to do that, or how will we be aware of it?
It's
any skill, any technique. How do you get to that? It's a hard question. I know it's not easy to.
Yeah, it's a mindset, but I think we can all learn how to change our attitudes in terms of looking at ourselves, in terms of being humble towards others. We do not know where other people are coming from, what has happened to them, and teaching ourselves to try to see things from different perspectives, and thinking that we can change, we can learn and get better with time. Having the desire to do that.
And I believe that for some reason we have an inner compass, natural.
Yes.
That tells us that this wasn't right.
That's right.
I think that is natural in us. Nature has put in us.
Yes.
I think so. So I need to have more scientific, research done on it, or maybe there is already. I'm sure there is, and find out, because I feel that anytime we do something right, we know it.
Yes.
And sometimes we do wrong. We might not be able to really point it out, but then there's.
You feel it.
Yeah, you feel it. So maybe that's one that should combine with the education in schools and awareness for adults.
Sure.
Right? In schools, for the parents also, to how to deal with the children, because even if they know or not, one assumes that this is a good education for adults.
Yeah.
I would like to do that.
Yeah,
and we
absolutely.
can propose that, right?
There you go.
So let's start with the last leg of questions. What's the value of gratitude in your life?
It's foundational. I am. I don't know what I would do without it, actually.
Thank you. So, how are you thankful in your daily life, if you would like to share with us?
I say thanks to God, actually, every day.
Okay, good.
For
are you thankful for your children?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Okay. Could you tell me what's the purpose of your life? What have you found? Have you found a purpose of your life?
So I think I will repeat myself here, but I say that the magnificent Pablo Picasso said that the meaning of life is to find your gift, and the purpose of life is to give that gift away.
Very
and
nice.
I find that to be very true.
Wonderful. Thank you. How do you, if there was no tomorrow, what would you do today differently?
So I would hug and kiss everyone in my family even more. We are very, very huggable already, but yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
That's fine. So my last question is, what lights you up?
I get lit up, apart from my kids and so on, when magic happens, when interaction between people, particularly if there is any initiatives that has to do with building bridges and people come together across differences, difficulties and so on, and then magic happens, and I feel incredibly lit up by that.
Thank you so much. Wonderful.
Thank you.
So this was my guest, Jenny Bonham-Carter, and I hope you enjoyed our conversation. And till next time, I'm Shwa, and stay tuned, subscribe, listen, rate and review. Thank you.